there's many views as to why he might be wanting to do this. The charitable view, which is still crazy, is that he wants to preempt a possible case in the International Court of Justice where Britain would be found guilty of holding onto these islands because of the treaty that actually granted Mauritius its independence, and the Chagos Islands were in a different administrative part. And there was a whole complicated set of things back in the late 1960s where at some point there was going to be a discussion about who the islands should go to, because Britain was only going to hold them for a certain period of time. And the view is that he is going to preempt this by giving them up before we rule against into the National Court of Justice, because he is Mr. Rules, don't forget, Kev. And as a result, he's going to be so Mr. Rules, he's going to be Mr. Rules before the rules have even been made, and he's going to kind of give up the islands, before we're ruled against. Now, the problem with this approach is that we have no idea what the ICJ will actually rule, and if he was committed to keeping them, he could no doubt make a very good legal defence about why we ought to be keeping them. And while it is correct that the Tories began this discussion phase, we have no clue what the Tories would have ended up with in terms of what area, and I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been this, even if they'd have been foolish enough to try and give them away. Now, my view on this is that actually, for all him wanting to be on the right side of the ICJ, part of this is it's an awkward remnant of empire. He doesn't like the empire, in common with much of his political party. We need to clear our, history of this sort of anomaly of things like the Chagos Islands, and we just need to dump them on anyone who'll take them. And if we have to pay them to do it, then we'll do that as well. But you're quite right to point out that Mauritius didn't originally own them. And the one set of people who have not been talked about at all in this are the Chagos Islanders themselves, who are a separate sort of people, as it were, and have been essentially passed over in a classic Whitehall colonial style deal where one colonial power is apparently handing them over to another colonial power, and they've got no say in it. So the whole thing is just bizarre, full stop. The reality is we shouldn't be giving them back, Kevin, because they are of strategic interest to Britain. They are a key national security component of our ability to project power and intelligence in the Indo-Pacific. China is going to be the likely beneficiary. Why on earth are we going to do this? It's just insanity. And at a time when Donald Trump is out there really showing what American power is like, at the moment it looks like what Keir Starmer's doing is showing what British weakness is like. And it's just an absolutely unenforced error, no purpose in it. And what are we doing?